is officially underway in the gray. Amongi. It's time to go to work. Round one in the pink and black. Niedermayr. Or as he likes to be called, Dowdy.
The atmosphere inside the arena carried a particular kind of weight long before the first punch was thrown. This was not just another bout on the card. It was South Africa standing opposite Uganda. Two nations rarely placed under the same MMA spotlight. And two women carrying far more than gloves and mouthguards into the cage. As the cameras rolled and the commentary team set the stage, there was an unmistakable sense that this fight was about discovery as much as competition. It was about proving something to the division, to their countries, and perhaps most of all, to themselves. Rebecca Amongi stepped forward first, her posture upright, her eyes locked ahead with a seriousness that suggested she had already rehearsed every second of this moment in her mind. There was no hesitation in her movement, no tentative feeling out process. She came in close immediately, testing range, throwing with intent, letting her presence be felt. Across from her stood Kaylee "Smiley Savage" Nemiah, a fighter whose nickname often confused newcomers. Outside the cage she was known for warmth and calm, but inside it, that smile disappeared quickly. What replaced it was a heavy, unforgiving competitor who thrived in chaos. The opening exchanges were sharp and tense. Amongi found success early, snapping a clean left hand that landed with enough authority to turn heads at cage side. Namaya briefly considered her options, even flirting with the idea of pulling guard. But hesitation is dangerous in moments like these. Amongi surged forward, both arms wrapping in tight, and suddenly Namaya was airborne. The slam came hard and loud, a powerbomb that echoed through the arena as Namaya hit the canvas flat on her back. It was the kind of statement that changes the tone of a fight instantly. Amongi wasn't here to survive. She was here to impose herself. The crowd reacted immediately, sensing the shift. Amongi looked energized by it, lifting Namaya again, threatening another slam. Though this time the danger was clear. Overcommitting could cost an arm, a shoulder, or the round itself. Still, the message had already been sent. Amongi was strong, aggressive, and completely unafraid of Nemaya's reputation. For a brief stretch, it felt like the Ugandan fighter was dictating the rhythm, pushing Namaya backward, forcing her to respond instead of initiate. Commentary drifted briefly to the larger picture, to Uganda's presence in professional MMA. It was a reminder of how rare moments like this truly were. A country with countless amateurs, boxers, and fighters of various disciplines, but only a small handful who had reached this level of professional mixed martial arts. Amongi was not just fighting Namaya, she was carrying the visibility of her nation on her shoulders, and she fought like someone who understood that responsibility. Namaya, however, is not a fighter who panics under early adversity. She adjusted, timed her entry, and caught a leg at just the right moment. The takedown came clean, and suddenly the fight shifted from explosive slams to grinding control. Namaya landed in half guard, exactly where she wanted to be. The roar of the crowd softened into a steady murmur as elbows and short punches began to land, methodical and punishing. From the top, Nemiah's intentions were clear. She wasn't just trying to win position. She was trying to break rhythm, to drain energy, to make Amongi work for every breath. Right hands came down in repetition, heavy but controlled. At the press conference, Namaya had spoken openly about wanting to slice her opponent open, about giving the paramedics something to do. It was brutal honesty, the kind that makes headlines, and now she was attempting to back it up with every elbow she threw. Amongi's defense held, but the pressure was relentless. The first round closed with a sense of uncertainty. Amongi had delivered the most memorable moment with the slam, but Namaya had found her groove on the ground. The judges' cards were impossible to predict, and both corners knew the fight was far from decided. The second round began with an edge that wasn't there before. The respect of the opening exchanges had given way to visible tension. These two were no longer feeling each other out. They were testing limits. Namaya pressed forward, burying herself in close, hunting for clinch opportunities, while Amongi fired back with combinations, refusing to be bullied. At one point, Namaya climbed high on the torso, dangerously high, risking a slip that could cost her position entirely. She hunted for control around the waist, looking for leverage, but Amongi fought the hands, twisting, refusing to be settled. Hooks came in briefly, then disappeared. Positions reversed in a scramble that had the audience on its feet. Momentum swung back and forth, neither woman willing to concede an inch without payment. The exchanges grew more heated. punches thrown with visible frustration behind them. This was no longer just a technical battle, it was emotional. Every strike seemed fueled by the awareness that this fight mattered deeply. Nemiah's pressure never stopped. She burrowed forward, forcing clinches, landing short left hands, chasing the chin even when the opening wasn't fully there. Amongi responded with grit, meeting her in the pocket. Answering aggression with aggression. By the end of the second round, it was clear that Namaya had begun to tilt the balance. Her relentlessness was wearing on Amongi, forcing her to react rather than initiate. The narrative of the fight was changing, and everyone watching could feel it. The third round opened with urgency. There was no room for coasting now. Namaya wasted no time, securing another takedown, driving Amongi to the mat, and immediately going to work. Guard retention became the battle, elbows slicing down as Amongi tried desperately to turn in and create space. Each movement came at a cost. Each escape attempt was met with pressure. Namaya looked possessed. There was no smile now, no hint of the calm persona she carried outside the cage. This was the Savage in full control, fighting not just to win but to make a statement. She passed, she postured, she trapped arms with precision that spoke to countless hours on the mat. When the back presented itself, she took it without hesitation. The rear naked choke attempt came quickly. Namaya slid the arm under the chin, locking her hands, squeezing with intent. For a moment it looked like the fight might end right there. Amongi fought the hands, twisted her body, found just enough space to breathe. The choke was deep, but not deep enough. Seconds ticked away like hours as the crowd held its breath. Amongi survived, not just through technique but through sheer toughness. She endured, escaped the immediate danger, and made it to the final horn. When it sounded, both women were spent, sweat-soaked, faces marked by the war they had just endured. As they stood awaiting the decision, the story of the fight felt clear. Amongi had brought power, heart, and national pride into the cage, delivering moments that would be replayed and remembered. Namaya had brought pressure, adaptability, and control, rallying after early danger and imposing her will over the final rounds. The judges' scorecards reflected that narrative. Unanimous decision, the red corner, Kaylee Smiley Savage Nemiah. As the Ugandan flag was raised behind her, Namaya spoke with gratitude rather than arrogance. She praised her opponent's toughness, acknowledged the game plan, admitted the frustration of not being able to cut her, even joked about her elbows hurting more than her opponent. It was a reminder that beneath the ferocity, there was humility. She thanked her team, her coaches, her training partners, and spoke openly about how much it meant to be in this position. Then came the words every fighter dreams of hearing: number one contendership, a shot at the belt, a future title fight now firmly within reach. For Namaya, this was more than a win, it was validation. For Amongi, despite the loss, it was proof that she belonged on this stage, that Uganda's presence in MMA was not just symbolic but competitive. This fight wasn't just 3 rounds in a cage, it was a collision of ambition, resilience, and identity. It was a reminder of why fans fall in love with this sport, not just for the knockouts and submissions, but for the stories written in sweat and struggle. If you enjoyed reliving this battle and want more deep, story-driven breakdowns like this, let me know your thoughts. Who impressed you more in this fight? And how do you see Namaya matching up in a title bout? Drop your take in the comments. And if you want more high-quality fight narratives and documentary-style breakdowns,